If you love wisdom, put your mind up to the ceiling. Don't let it stay in the gutter. Don't let your heart get all cluttered. No, I did not stutter. Listen to all that I've muttered. Your life will only go well if you win wisdom or lovers.
If you're in love with wisdom, come inside.
Come inside. Come inside.
The truth will surely rescue you and I.
You and I. You and I.
If you're in love with wisdom, come inside.
Come inside. Come inside.
The truth will surely rescue you and I.
Hey, what's going on? JC Johnson here, and you're listening to For the Love of Wisdom, where philosophy meets the streets. And right now we're getting ready to transition into a new topic. So what are we talking about next? We're actually going to be talking about the wisdom of marriageability. Okay, what is that? Well, I don't want to give it away, so just stay tuned, because we're going to get right into that after this. You're listening on North Coast Underground.
If you're in love with wisdom, come inside.
Come inside.
Hey, what's up? It's your girl Queen Z from the Queen Z Show, and you are listening to For the Love of Wisdom.
All right, what's going on? Welcome back. You're listening to For the Love of Wisdom, where philosophy meets the streets. Okay, and so right now we're going to be talking about the wisdom of marriageability. Now, if you're unfamiliar with that term, don't worry, because we're going to go over it a little bit before we jump into the topic. Last time we talked about controllability, and if you missed that episode, don't worry, it's going to be posted later on today, and you can catch that on iTunes, TuneIn Radio, Stitcher, Google Play Music, Spotify, anywhere where podcasts can be heard. And if you have an Alexa device, you can just say, hey Alexa, play For the Love of Wisdom, and it'll actually bring that up for you so you can listen to it hands-free, right? So if you're driving, or if there's any reason why you're not able to access this with your fingers, no problem. All you have to do is just speak it up and it'll be there for you. So, marriageability. What is this all about? Well, what does it mean, first of all, to be marriageable? You know, back in the day, there was a big concern about, being of marrying age. And people got married much younger than people do now, especially in the Western part of the world, where, before it would have been normal for someone who was 16, 17 years old to be married already and maybe even expecting a child. Whereas now, people are pushing it back farther and farther. Even to get married at 25 is considered too young, or 30. People say, whoa, you're only 30. Why are you talking about marriage? But this has been historically something that has been normal all throughout history. It's only in recent years that people have been delaying marriage more and more. But outside of just marrying age, right, which can be debated, what age is that? To be marriageable means that you're basically fit for or capable of marriage. Now, if looking at that on the surface, who is fit or capable of marriage really? And it's only until you get married that you discover that marriage takes work. It's nothing easy. It's nothing that you can necessarily prepare for. It's not like you can take a college course on marriage and then all of a sudden, just be ready for it. It's something that takes time. It's something that takes patience. It takes love. It takes intelligence. It's not easy, right? But outside of it not being easy, it's also something that shouldn't be feared, because it's a wonderful thing. It's something that everyone should be able to experience. Not all people do experience it in this life, but it's a beautiful thing if you give yourself that opportunity. But it does take work. Another definition for marriageability or being marriageable is eligibility for marriage. And again, who is really eligible for that? Now, you could say, okay, somebody is an eligible bachelor or bachelorette or whatever because maybe they have a certain amount of money, or because they finished college, or because they're a certain age. But at the end of the day, you're not really ready for it until you begin it, right? It's like, you can't say, LeBron James was ready for the NBA the day he was born. No, you don't just get ready for that. You can't just say he was ready to dribble a basketball from the beginning, because someone had to teach him that, or maybe he had to teach himself, but he had to start somewhere. Everyone has to start somewhere. You're never just born ready for anything, especially something as serious as marriage. So let's take a look at this article about marriage. It was written by Crosswalk, and I think it's really, it's really interesting. Gives something to think about. And it says, what does the Bible say about marriage? All right, so it says here, we can see that marriage is an intimate and complementing union between a man and a woman, in which the two become one physically in the whole of life. The purpose of marriage is to reflect the relationship of the Godhead and to serve him. So before going anywhere, we do have to take a look at that, because not everyone agrees on what marriage is really about. So according to this, if you are a believer in God, this is saying basically that marriage is supposed to reflect God. It's supposed to reflect the relationship of God the Father to God the Son. It's saying that marriage is supposed to reflect the relationship between God and his church. It's supposed to have many different meanings. It's supposed to really show something. It's not simply, I love you, you love me, we're gonna live happily ever after on an island. No, it's really about reflecting God to the world, so that through marriage people can see God. And there's 3 lies here that the article deals with. One lie is, if you're not compatible, you may have married the wrong person. What do they have to say? God's truth says that marriage is a covenant relationship. Once you choose to marry, it's no longer up for debate as to whether your spouse is the quote-unquote right one. And I think that that's powerful. That's really important, because it's true, right? It's not about whether someone's the right one or not. Really, it's about, are you willing to be the right one? Not, is my spouse the right one? Are you willing to be that right one for that person? Are you willing to put in the work? Lie number 2, if you're not happy, don't stay in an unhappy situation. You deserve more. I'm sure you've heard that plenty of times. If you're in a relationship, whether it's marriage or dating or whatever, people always say, you deserve so much more. You should be with someone that's really going to make you happy. But guess what? Again, it's about how much are you willing to put in, right? You're only going to get out as much as you put in. And this article here says that for many of us, marriage can tend to bring our selfishness out like nothing else. We want our way. We insist on our rights. We want our spouse to make us happy and right now. And in the midst of demands, we'll never be free to truly love and serve one another. And that's really true, because if you're only focusing on yourself and what you're getting out of it and your own desires, then how could you possibly be happy? You have to focus on more than just what you want. You have to focus on what's best for you, what's best for your spouse, what's best for the relationship, so that it can grow. It's not just about all the list of things that you want. It's not realistic. And if you're looking at it like that, you're only going to be unhappy. Lie number 3. Marriage is a 50-50 relationship. Okay, so now, on the surface, that sounds true, right? But check this out. It says that marriage takes 2 people fully committed. So 50-50 is not full commitment. That's only 50% commitment. And if you think about it, in school, if you get a 50% on your test, you don't say, wow, I'm so glad I got half right. No, you're going to be disappointed, because 50% means that you fail. In a lot of schools, even 60% is failing. So saying you got it halfway is nothing to celebrate about. But according to this, it will take full effort of 100 to have a strong relationship, which will thrive over time. So 50-50 is not good enough. 60-60, 60-40, it's not good enough. Anything like that is not good enough. It needs to be both people putting their all into the relationship. So what is being marriageable about? It's not about, being able to someone to have a bunch of stuff checked off their list of all these great qualities you're supposed to have. It's really about being willing. Are you willing to love a person more than you love yourself? That's the true challenge. That's what it really means to be marriageable. But more on that after this. You're listening to North Coast Underground, where the underground starts with you. What's going on? Welcome back. You're listening to For the Love of Wisdom, where philosophy meets the streets. And right now we're talking about the wisdom of marriageability. What does it mean to be marriageable, right? So we looked at an article that talked about what marriage is really about. And it dispelled some of the lies that are often associated with it. Like, oh, I'm in it just so that this person can make me happy. I'm in it so that I can enjoy this or that, whatever. But no, it's deeper than that. It's more than that. It's about being the right person, not about choosing the right person. Because how can you possibly know that? How can you have that amount of control to be able to determine how a person is going to be on Monday or Wednesday or Saturday? You don't know. All you know is what you can see and what's being presented to you. And people can present anything to you. That's why it's more important to focus on you. It's more important to focus on being the right person as opposed to finding the right person. So here's some quotes about marriage that I think are really positive and kind of help to paint a picture of this topic. Happy is the man who finds a true friend, and far happier is he who finds that true friend in his wife. That's from Franz Schubert. What does St. Jerome have to say? Marriage is good for those who are afraid to sleep alone at night. That's very practical, but it's true. Here's one from Joseph Campbell. When people get married because they think it's a long-time love affair, they'll be divorced very soon, because all love affairs end in disappointment. But marriage is a recognition of a spiritual identity. That's a pretty good one right there. Here's one from Jessica Simpson. A marriage doesn't have to be perfect, but you can be perfect for each other. That says so much. It says so much. It's not about that person being perfect or you being perfect, but you just being right for each other. And what does that mean? It means that this person you're with is somebody who's ultimately going to help you to get over your selfishness. Somebody that's going to help you to see life in a different way, in a more clear way than what you're seeing right now, because maybe you don't have the full picture. Maybe your scope is limited, and this person will help to broaden your perspective. All right, what does the Bible have to say? In John chapter 13, verses 34 and 35, it says, I give you a new command. Love each other. You must love each other just as I loved you. All people will know that you are my followers if you love each other. And, this is really important. What is being said here? People will know that you are for real. People will know that you have a true connection with God when people can see that you're loving other people, especially when it comes to loving the person that you're with, right? Because you can say anything. You can just say, oh, I'm this type of person or that type of person, or oh, I love God so much, or whatever. You can say you love God all you want, but if you treat people poorly and you treat your spouse poorly, then people are not going to listen to that. They're not going to believe anything that you have to say because you sound like a hypocrite. So this is saying the only way to really say that you love someone is not with your words, but it's through your actions. 1 Corinthians 9:27 says that it is my own body. Proverbs 16:32. It is better to be patient than to be a strong soldier. It is better to control your anger than to capture a city. And this is really important as it relates to relationships, because if you do not have control over yourself, and we talked about self-control last time, if you don't have control over yourself, you're going to make a lot of bad decisions, and you're going to cause a lot of pain, a lot of hurt. You should, instead of try to focus on controlling that other person, it's really more beneficial to control yourself. And it's really crucial also that we remember that ultimately, at the end of the day, what matters most? Is it your own desires? Is it your own dreams? Is it whatever you think you deserve? Or is it the desires, the dreams, those things that your spouse needs? Because if both people are focusing on what the other one needs, then guess what? Both people will be fulfilled. If you want to have true marriageability, if you're a single person and you're not married yet, one of the things to remember is you're not going to become marriageable by spending all your time in places where people who are looking for a marriage partner are not, right? So maybe spending all the time at the club, looking for somebody, maybe that's not the best place to go. Maybe you should go somewhere where you're really fulfilling your call in life, where you're really operating in what it is that you feel you're best at. Because it's in those places that you'll probably come in contact with like-minded people, people who respect what you do, people who understand what you do, and people who will be able to stand with you. People who already know what you're about before you even have to open your mouth. You go to the club, anyone can be there. It could be a doctor, it could be a serial killer, it could be a pedophile, anybody could be there. You don't know who you're meeting, right? I mean, I guess that's true about any place, but what I'm saying is that when you go to a place that is in your element, a place where your giftings are being used, then you're going to attract people who either have those same giftings or who appreciate those kinds of giftings. Also, when it even just comes to your physical body, choosing who you share that with is really important. If you want to be marriageable, focus less on giving yourself away and focus more on pouring into yourself, becoming the best you that you possibly can be. And you'll set yourself up for success doing that. So we'll have to discuss more on that another time, maybe a part 2 of this, but you're listening to For the Love of Wisdom on North Coast Underground, where the underground starts with you.
Knowledge is power, power is money, and money makes the world go round.
Money, power, respect, I get it. Higher, learning, yeah, I'm with it. Only get better with time, you got on my mind with wisdom. There's no limit, there's no limit. Get up and get it, can achieve the impossible, conquer every obstacle. Exhausted from grinding, constantly pushing, do what they say I could. Life is what you make it. Knowledge is power, don't let them take it.
If you're in love